Hey, how's it going? Nick here, getting back on the talking head tip. Uh, just had a couple thoughts, some things I wanted to share. Um, I'm just kind of sitting in my room, been working on some notes. You can probably kind of see I'm here to the this direction. Yeah, working on some notes. Getting ready to do a work event in May. Doing a little practice, but I was just thinking, I basically just went to the gym and then I walked home and I kind of had a couple thoughts that I'm gonna try and weave together. And one of them is I was just realizing this is as good as it gets as I was walking home, like having a good experience. And then this other thought I had while I was having an acai bowl after I went to the gym was um, get on with it. So it's kind of these two thoughts kind of landed for me today. And I think last week or 10 days ago, I did a video on Instagram talking about how I feel all right in life, meaning like everything feels right. Like the choices I made, what I'm doing, um, things are like top of the world, like amazing, everything is possible. And they're also not super depressing. And, you can go to the Instagram channel and watch that. It's on there. But I feel like this is a further evolution of what feels like more of that energy landing for me. Because I was talking about having a bad experience, like getting a high tax bill, and today I had a good experience. Um, Now, mind you, it wasn't like, and what I was talking about was like the bad things aren't as bad as I once thought they were because of after years of being with an uncertainty or facing challenges, like there's like a certain like armor or resilience that occurs, and I kind of get weathered to the challenges, and things just seem like, oh, that's just happening. Okay, it's bad, but whatever. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna stay stuck in feeling it's the worst thing ever and that life's the worst thing to ever occur, like I had in the past. And so today I had a good experience. Um, Yeah, and it wasn't like top of the world, a most amazing thing. Oh my God, I'm in a tropical island and I've got these photos of my vacation and look at my food and I'm having drinks. And it wasn't like I guess you would call like a intoxicating experience, which obviously comes with hangovers. But yeah, I was just thinking, so I'll kind of set the scene for you a little bit. Like I live in a beach town. I live in a old condominium with my wife. Um, Plenty of space. Pay a good deal. We got like a good spot. We're basically a block from the beach. Like we can walk down to the beach, and it's like there's that thought that like, oh, once you live somewhere tropical, it's just this nonstop paradise, and it's not. Like there's still life happening, and you still got to do your thing, and I still got to do my thing, and it's more that it's just preferentially really enjoyable for me and her. I'm assuming I can't speak for her, but for myself, it's just preferentially like great. Meaning like it's not like paradise and escape into some place where everything is just always set for good, but more of like when I have good days and I enjoy my environment, it's great. It's awesome. So it's enjoyable. And so today, Angela, she works very close to where we live, and she can walk if she wants to. And I have a gym actually, like I guess 1,000, 2,000 feet away from where she works, something like that. Like a couple blocks away. I don't know. Is that how long a block is? Is it 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet? I don't know. I haven't measured blocks in a while. A couple blocks down from where she works, and I got a gym. So like I can actually, my gym is about a mile away from where I live too. So it's like great for access and being able to just go and work out. It ensures that I'm actually going to use it because it's so close and it gets me out of the house. And one of the benefits of her working so close is like, well, I get to ride with her. So I ride with her to work, and then I get to walk over to the gym. So I did that today. I got in her car, rode with her, and then said bye, and then went to the gym. And so I had a good workout. And then I was like, you know what? I had a good workout. Like I pushed myself a little bit here, and I'm gonna go get me a treat after working out. And um, so I went and got an acai bowl, and it was like great acai bowl, like all the berries and a couple flavors of acai and coconut and almond butter. And basically, it was like when I saw it, I was like, man, this is awesome. It was just a mound of fresh fruit and super just enjoyable. And as I was eating the acai bowl, I realized like, I didn't plan to go and grab the acai bowl, but I was like, oh, like this is like, um, I didn't think about how my day was gonna go. I was just kind of following the moment in the moment, and then I was like, I'm really glad I came. I'm really glad I kind of pushed a little bit into like, you know what, I'm gonna do something different after. I'm not just gonna walk home. And then, now granted, I don't do that every time I go out there, and I don't always stop by, but it was a cool like thing where I was like, oh, this is really nice. And that's kind of where I had the thought like getting on with it, like just this kind of like thing of, and then I'll loop it back in to say this is as good as it gets, is as good as it gets too, in a little bit. But that's where it kind of first hit me. I just was kind of thinking. Also, I was having the acai bowl. I was working out, and I was doing some squats, and I was feeling that kind of strength of doing a squat. And then I saw like, like kind of my stomach hanging over the squatting. It's not like I'm not like obese, or I work out and I row boats. Like I'm in good shape, but like I'm not as, I carry the weight to row, a couple 1,000-pound boats for, and I'm intentionally not small or scrawny. I carry a little extra weight than I used to, and it's not like, it's just kind of like bulk. And I was noticing it, and I was like, I think I can like, I can shore that up a little bit. Like I can get a little tighter. And it was like I was feeling that kind of push, a little bit of anger, and I was like, this has got to go. Like, and so as I was sitting there having the acai bowl, I kind of realized like, I could actually, it wouldn't be a betrayal of my being to push a little harder into working out like I used to. Not necessarily anything crazy or manic, just maybe like, oh, just do a little workout a day, nothing crazy, and just kind of go in that direction. And the same thing, it kind of hit me with having the acai bowl. It was just like, yeah, like I didn't have to go to the acai bowl, but I pushed a little harder, and it was like, oh, I got to have the acai bowl. Um, and in both experiences, it wasn't like I was seeking some high mood to lock into and be. It was just like in the moment flow. And so that's kind of where that first thought of like, get on with it, like get on with the things that I know I want to kind of systematically work on or build in my life, in the way that I figure out how to do that. Um, so maybe I'll come back to that in a minute after I tell you a little more as I think through things on the fly as I'm doing here. But then the next leg of my trip, okay, I had the acai bowl, enjoyed it, ate it all, put it, threw it all away or whatever, and then walked down to the beach. So basically, the gym is close to the beach as well. And there's a little stretch where there's just like green. And and I was like, okay, I'm going to take off my shoes, walk on the grass, and just enjoy. After having to go work out, I'm just going to enjoy this walk. And it was sunny, and it's just a nice day. And so I walked on the grass. Then I went down the stairs to the beach. And luckily, there is a stretch of beach that goes, it's rocky, but it goes from, I think it's like a mile away from where I live, like my street. So if I walk down all the way down the beach, then I can go to my street, then turn up my street. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to keep walking, Went past this area where there's like crabs and stuff, and I didn't see any today, but me and my wife always look for the crabs when we're down there together. And then I hit the stretch of like just open beach before I get to like the beach we're in front of, like where my street is. And it was just like this picturesque, like blue sky and sand, and the water felt good. And I just had this realization. I was like, this is as good as it gets. Like, meaning like my emotional system seems balanced and adjusted to reality. And I was having a positive, good experience with kind of like a baseline of peace underneath it. And it wasn't like I'm on a tropical island fantasy trying to live out and try to stay in some place where everything just amazing all the time. It was just like a general everyday feeling of like, wow, this is as good as it gets. Like, meaning also like it doesn't get is for me it's as good as it gets. It's like I walked to the gym, I drove to the gym with my wife, I walked to the gym, I had a good workout, I walked to the beach or I walked to get an acai bowl, then I walked on the beach and it was like I'm about to go home. Like, dude, I don't have to step in my car. It was just like this experience where I was like, I will only have experiences that are other iterations of this, um, that are like just as the same level of good, and they'll fulfill me in the same way as this. And I just realized like that's as good as it gets. Like it's good as it's gonna get for me. Probably as good as it gets for any human being. Like our emotional system can only go do so much, right? Whatever your preference is, like once you find your preference, it's just like that's it for you. Like it's not there's no escape. Like you're just gonna have the human experience, and that's all. And like, but it felt liberating because as much as like you gotta have these cool, I'm lucky in that I have like some, I love where I live, got a cool spot. Um, we can walk to all this stuff. I realize that that's like a blessing, I guess you'd say. And but it's also kind of like life's not perfect, right? It's like I don't have a massive bank account or like a not everything in my life isn't cleaned up and just pristine, right? It's like I've got debts. Um, like there's things that I want to do that I can't yet, but it doesn't mean things are bad. It just means like there's just things that are like in the future that are out of my reach now. And there are challenges and things that pressures that come along, but I still get to have the good experience I had today inside it, with all this stuff in the background. And I just realized like, the growth of like, I don't give the power to that, to the shit. Like I'm not giving all the stuff that's not perfect. I wasn't today. Today I wasn't doing that, and it was like this is how life is. This is kind of like the design of life. Like if it's like when you're grounded in the moment, enjoying or whatever, I just happen to have enjoyment that rolls through. It's nothing that I'm producing. That's what life does. It does it for you, and you participate in it. And it's not something that I had to manipulate myself into or even chase. It was just kind of like hearing the reality. And yeah, I'm trying to think what the thing I was wanting to go with that, like with the yeah, oh yeah, I guess the get on with it part, right? So talking about how life is still imperfect, but it's still as good as it gets, and it's still imperfect. And so what's left is like that getting on with it, right? It's like I still got to live life, right? Like there'll be times in the future, and hopefully it'll be more experiences as good as it can get, but that's not promise. Could be not as good as it gets. Um, but it was just that getting on with it piece, and it was like, oh yeah, this is where you just kind of, or I get to kind of just lean into the right things for me. The things that are in my path that I realize are as good as they can get. Like I love the work I do. I love making animated videos. I love doing the notes. I just like creating stuff. I also row gondolas a couple days a week. So, like that's fun. I get to sing songs, Italian songs, um, and it creates a stable enough experience because of me and how I relate to my life. It's very stable, and yeah. So like getting on with it piece is just realizing like, okay, you're not gonna have no future is gonna be, you won't make me feel better. Won't I mean, it may be objectively better, but I'm not going to feel any different than I did today having that great experience. So just do the things that, Nick, just do the things that you want to do inside of your current reality that you are realizing are good. And so it kind of was like, oh yeah, so Nick, just keep getting better at your animated video work and your note taking and, yeah, so that's kind of the getting on with it piece too. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier with like when I was working out, noticing the slight protrusion of my stomach, and I was like, oh, I can shape that up. So it's like I get to just clean. I feel like the future is like, or whatever conceptually how we call it the future, is just I get to clean up and build things. Kind of shape, kind of like I guess like a sculptor has like this mass of clay and it's a mess. It can feel like a mess in some parts, but he's still got the clay in front of him. And it's like, okay, now let's start shaping it. And that's kind of like the getting on with it. So I feel like I guess the milestone or whatever I want to highlight is like none of that happens with like getting to the place where you kind of flush out what's not right for you. Um, Using your own guidance and your own kind of soul and listening to yourself, and like that can be the longer process that uh, can be confusing and hard and tough, and it can be hard as crap. We'll say that. But once you get to that, once you clear out those things, and kind of like the remaining thing is the when the things are right, like that, all right, that kind of sets the stage for like realizing, oh yeah, we don't live in a fantasy world, and we don't live in a place that's necessarily hell. I mean, we can have both of those experiences here, but when things are right and you kind of get to that place, like just kind of baseline, and then it's like a great place, I'm realizing, to relate to um, good and bad. Today is good, so I'm a little happier. So my emotional system is a little more risen. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything here to wrap that up with. So just to kind of recap, it's as good as it gets. So I guess I realize things are as good as they're going to get, and just get on with it. So I'll leave that with you. If there's a viewer out there watching this and getting anything from that, let me look and see. So I did 16 minutes. Cool. All right. Have a good day.